Good evening, everybody. Dr. Patmos again with a very important video for you. I saw something this afternoon on the Midas Touch Network that was really impressive. Probably the most intelligent, deep, thought provoking, well articulated, and well founded analysis of exactly what our risk is now going forward in Iran with respect to its I think 40 metric tons of highly enriched 60% uranium that it has that's now buried somewhere because we bombed the heck out of the place, but it's still down there underground. Anyhow, this conversation was between the fella from Midas Touch Network, who's quite knowledgeable in this field, and a guy named Andy Weber, who's been a in the government for 30 years, serving under multiple administrations, and was pretty much the top guy when it comes to dealing with and mitigating risk from nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons. He was the guy who oversaw the operation to take down the anthrax fermenters in Kazakhstan and relocating. I mean, the guy's really knowledgeable. Just listen to his credentials and listen to what he has to say, and you'll realize this guy's the real deal. Anyhow, here's the important take-home message. If you think, if you're under the impression that anything Trump has done has made us safer or made Israel safer or put Israel in a better position or made the world safer by virtue of his actions, especially regarding the bombing of Iran last June and the war on Iran over the last 2 months. If you think that he has made us safer, you need to watch this video. It is very disturbing and very alarming and very factual, and I think it will cause you to rethink your assessment. It really goes to show just how dumb Donald Trump is and how he doesn't think through things. He has made us put us at much greater risk. Let's just take, for example, what this guy spoke about, this Andy Weber spoke about, with respect to the highly enriched uranium that Iran was producing. They didn't have any highly enriched uranium until Trump took us out of that agreement that Obama had made. They had only 3.6% enriched uranium, which could be used for power plants and medical devices. Well, after Trump pulled out of that agreement, they started enriching again, and they now have a bunch of high grade 60% enriched uranium, which was the apparent justification for the war and the attack in June and then the war now, is that they were going on and enriching uranium, which they were doing because Trump threw the agreement out. Well, that enriched uranium is still in Iran. Here's the problem. It's now buried. That area was bombed. There are tunnels there. We don't know the extent of damage to the tunnels, but certainly Iran does. And they have bulldozers and they have backhoes and they have heavy equipment and they can dig that stuff out and get it. There's no logistical, feasible way for us to go get that stuff. And if we, to try to negotiate some sort of arrangement with Iran to allow us to go get it is going to be really, I think it's very unrealistic. So the reality is Iran is sitting on a stockpile of enriched uranium that they could use and put onto ballistic missiles or into drones and use it. And so this is not safer. He didn't, take out Iran's ability to have a nuclear weapon at all. They still have that nuclear material, and all they got to do is dig it up and use it. And now we may say, "Oh, we can watch for that, and we'll bomb them if they do so." Well, that's if we can detect that they're doing so. So, in that regard, this discussion shows exactly why Trump has not made us safer or Israel safer. In fact, I think he's raised the stakes and the risk for Israel dramatically. Even if Iran pulls this enriched uranium out of the ground, they don't have an intercontinental ballistic missile, but they do have missiles that can reach Israel, as we have now seen, because they've showered Israel with missiles in the last 6 weeks. All they have to do is just dig up some of that enriched uranium, put it on some drones and some short-range ballistic missiles, and they could attack Israel now with nuclear material, which would obviously invite a response. But this is an existential threat for Iran. So the point of it is, if you think Trump did a good thing and made us safer and made Israel safer, watch this video. I implore you to do so. Now, within this video, I don't totally agree with everything this guy Andy Webb says, but he did make one really, really important point. And that is when he's talking about biological weapons like viral and bacterial biological weapons, he went on to say that the most important biodefense we had was messenger RNA vaccine technology. That was because with using that technology, if you understand it, um, you could scale up and produce vaccines and other treatments like monoclonal antibodies and so forth rapidly, that could protect the population or treat the population in the event of an imminent biological threat. That's now off the table. Why? Because Trump and Kennedy have completely gutted research for messenger RNA. The very best tool we had in the event of a biological attack has now been taken away from us. And who do we owe that to? Trump, Kennedy, and in my mind, very importantly, Dr. Robert Malone, because no one has done more to undermine confidence in messenger RNA vaccine technology than Dr. Malone, who's the one who claims he invented it. Because of his claims of invention, and his credibility in that regard, his voice is very powerful, very influential, and I think I hold him accountable more so than anybody, even Kennedy, for eroding confidence in mRNA technologies. Look what has happened to Moderna since he has been able to convince the country that mRNA technology is bad. So for this and these and multiple other reasons addressed in this video, I think it becomes very apparent that we are not safer. In fact, Trump has brought us much closer to a significant problem in terms of the use of tactical nuclear weapons rather than intercontinental strategic nuclear weapons, but tactical nuclear weapons, battlefield nukes, if you will, has brought us much closer to the situation where those could be used, or in the event that there's a biological or chemical threat, we are less prepared. And no matter how you look at it, Trump has put the United States at risk with safety and security, and he has absolutely put Israel at greater risk. If you think that the war on Iran has benefited Israel, I think you need to go back and reassess your thinking. Please watch this video.